Yo, yo. Let me adjust the levels a little bit. I'm sure music was a little loud. I'm just gonna let this song ride for a little bit. We'll chill in this intermission face cam / chat stage of the stream that we usually only spend a couple seconds on. But we are currently listening to a song called Witness by Phones, I think is how you pronounce it, Foans. It's such a mesmerizing song, I think is a great way to put it. Wanted to get started a little bit earlier compared to usual as some IRL stuff came up, but I wanted to make sure I was still able to give you guys the stream, go through the stuff. Follow us, what is up, my man? But yeah, we'll let this ride out, throw on a mix. I'm gonna try a different mix today. New room, same room as ever. I mean, it's usually always this type of condition. I feel like it might be brighter because the time went back and my windows are fully open and it was cleaned up. I'm a little offended because I usually keep my room very clean, especially for streams, but it is what it is. We'll get going though. Good night, good morning. It is 6:36 p.m. for me. I am on Eastern time. Oh, there we go. Someone finally asked, what animals do you have there? Oh, baby. These are my chinchillas. I gave them dust baths before, so I don't want to. I'll quick grab one though, if I can. Give me one sec. Clean that big stuff right up. Yeah, from the little boys. Come here. Ugh. All right. Well, this one is Bean. He's usually a little more squirmish. He's pretty big. I don't want to scare him too much though, because he might just jump and run around. He's a good boy. And then I have Charlie. He's trying to escape right now currently. Now I gotta give them a stick for their troubles, for bothering them. Alright. Back to the regularly scheduled programming. Sorry about that, but do get people sometimes ask about it, and I don't really show them too much, so that'd be fun. That bicep though. Are you talking about my arms? Oh, I appreciate the compliment, but I feel frail. Man, I've only been able to go on the weekends because of work. I'm very excited though. If I get this new job I'm interviewing for, I will be a 13-minute drive from my the school I'll be teaching in versus a 2-hour commute. So I'll actually be able to go in the mornings again, which is something I desperately as a human being, I miss that part of my morning routines. I don't mind getting up early. Black text on green. Oh, yeah, we'll get over to the charts now. Actually, should be a bit better. It's a random, I don't know why. Whenever I reset the cache though before the streams, it does random colors, so it's kind of hit or miss. But should be good now that it's on the teal. But yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, no, definitely working out's a huge thing that I miss being a daily thing I do. I've been starting to do ab workouts at night and running alongside meditation when I get home from work, but it's tough. Yes, I am a teacher. Teal. I'm teal's greenish blue, no? Or a light shade of hold up. Yeah, it's a very light teal. Colors different. I don't think colors are different anywhere, my friend. But yeah, let's get into the thick of it. BTC, kind of chilling at the PCZ, which is really honestly not something you want to see if you're particularly bearish or want to see this playing out. This, you could argue that maybe this isn't really the confirmation high. Maybe we get another push up for like kind of like a 3 drives with a stronger impulse. There is still a small daily fair value gap up here that's been unmitigated. So that could be a good like short-term target. There is news tomorrow, I believe. Let me double check that. If I am not mistaken, so yeah, tomorrow's a non-farm employment change at 8:15. Then there's ISM services PMI. We had that on Monday too, or no, we had the manufacturing. I have no idea actually what that even is. Then unemployment on Thursday, and then Friday's a bank holiday for euro and pounds, and then Friday's like more tons of news the rest of the week. So might be best to steer clear, but we'll see. Crypto's a little bit different, but indices and forex, or indices might be done for the week depending on PM sessions potentially, but I'm probably not trading AM anytime soon. Yeah, so for me that would be like, if you're looking for upside, 29,427 would be like a good target ultimately, or you could go for the buy side liquidity right here, but I think that would be like your draw of liquidity if we are going to go up for a third drive. The daily here does look like it wants to close bullish. We'll see what happens in the next hour and 18 minutes, but I could potentially see, well, the thing, I have no idea with the news coming out this week what direction it's going to want to go, but for now it's pretty much just sideways. Like, we were here last, what was it, Wednesday on, yeah, the 29th, and it was nothing. I mean, we got a good pump that day, but like it's nothing news happened. I mainly focus on high time frame analysis for the streams, but always open to requests if people have anything specific they want checked out. But ultimately, I would like to maybe see that third drive up here now. You get your confirmation high, and then I think ultimately we are due for some downside. We're going to go over after BTC to actually the S&P and then Dixie, because I feel like those three are kind of like the kings almost, like the main stuff to like focus on for like your macro. And then we'll dive into alts and forex and whatnot. But yeah, if we do start rolling over though, ultimately first target for me would be like 25.2. Thank you, False, but a mere pleb amongst other kings. I wish I had a coin. Be like Doge, just like unlimited tokens. Not unlimited, but the amount that they print is insane. So, but yeah, this ultimately, you have this massive imbalance down here. You do have a balanced price range here. Technically kind of one here. So ultimately, like, I think I wouldn't want to see it go below like 22,000, maybe like a quick wick. But if you lose 20k though, it's new lows in my opinion, but we shall see. I do know quite a few people who are very like expecting the next couple months to be a bit more upside and then absolute carnage for the rest of the year. So we'll see what we get. But yeah, BTC looks all right. It's pretty much range bound. We go down to like the 4 hour. That would be like the next area time frame I'd be interested in. Just marking it out. I mean, I'd probably use this one just given the impulse. Very clean. Yeah. As Falls loves to say, don't diddle in the middle. You do have some like trend line liquidity above top. Just probably honing in here. Again, I would expect just range bound price action for the next day or so until you get the news tomorrow morning. So I'm sure like shorts here might make sense if you're targeting like this low or this low, but it's such like scalpy intraday stuff that I personally wouldn't bother. I've also taken such a totally different approach to crypto nowadays. I'm much more like DCA, investing spot bags versus like actually trading it. But I do like the analysis. So that's my thoughts on BTC. Heading over to the S&P, we will notice we have the same harmonic. It is the bearish cipher. And this is actually like super clean. The thing that kind of annoyed me a little bit was I didn't realize it until, or like I had posted about in Chroma a potential like Gartley when it was like back here. I was like, oh, maybe we'll get a Gartley, and it would be slightly different because you use a different tool in terms of how the harmonics are calculated, but it had the PCZ I think like right around here-ish, and it never happened because we ended up falling down, and ultimately we ended up making this cipher. If you saw my long on Twitter, I did get stopped at break even, which is a bit unfortunate, but ultimately these volume imbalances here were kind of like the draw on liquidity from down below. Originally I thought this was like a market maker sell model, with this being your original consolidation, but we never quite came down for it. We had like a wick here but never reached it. Hey, hold on. Oh wait, that's weird. Do I want that on? No, probably not. But I also think today with the long I took, I have this setting where I can adjust for contract changes, and I did that, and like you can see how it changes the price action. And ultimately we had like hidden. There's a 4-hour fair value gap right where there's these two equal highs. We hit that on like the non-adjusted version, like well below it, like right over here, 41.44 or 46. So we hit it like yesterday, and that was my target on the chart. So I don't know if it would be better not to use the adjusted time or not, but I'll do some more testing with it. I do think that's kind of interesting. But now that this harmonic has formed, I am changing my tone a little bit. This is basically the same thing as BTC, but the nice thing was you did get that strong reaction from it, because the PCZ for a bearish cipher would be the 786, which would basically be, yeah, like right there, which is essentially where we reversed. It went a little bit over, but like again, it can be within like a certain range, so it's valid. What we want to see happen now ultimately is continue selling off. Arguably you technically hit the first target, which was B. Your next one would be A, and A is quite a bit down. I'm trying to see, you do have a imbalance there that's unmitigated. Sell side liquidity here. Trendline liquidity just like kind of going up. You didn't really, like, this thing's gonna fall hard when the time comes, if it does. You never know. I don't like talking in absolutes. So I am looking for potential short-term reversal. I could see this get invalidated and continue higher, but there is a clear disparity between that and NASDAQ. Like you can see NASDAQ, the high from February 2nd, we're well above it, versus this, that's the same high. Like, so this is very bearish compared to NASDAQ. And with the harmonic added, it's definitely not something I'd be looking for fresh longs for, unless you're doing like scalps or intraday plays. However, something I've been talking about with some other people I know who trade indices is this weekly volume imbalance. It's right about the 43,000 area. Some of the people that I talked to who also trade indices, they're kind of looking at this as a potential like PO3. This is like your accumulation. You would get manipulation maybe up into the volume imbalance, maybe take even the buy side liquidity. And then what I would like to see in terms of like my grand thesis is a 618 retrace right down to take sell side liquidity from these relatively equal lows. Like that for me is the key level to be like, okay, I'm gonna start reinvesting in the S&P, because I sold a lot of my bags back in November. What was it, this year? November, or yeah, 2020. 21, I think. Was it 22? No. Yeah, because that would have been like here. No, yeah, I think I got out November 2021 or like it might have even been like late December, but definitely like somewhere in this area. Like I sold most of my long-term investings, which was actually like amazing. But that's like my Roth IRA personal investing stuff, and I haven't bought back yet. I've bought a inverse ETF that I actually trade a little bit, but I got taken out on because I was expecting this to be that market maker sell model, but it didn't work out. So it is what it is. But I would again like to see probably a short-term pullback, and then eventually probably going into the summer a push higher, which kind of coincides with again like my thesis on BTC. Kind of pull back, give it some breathing room, and then you can really rip for the monthly FEG up there. And then Dixie, just kind of figuring out, okay, where are we at? What's going on? Daily provides a pretty clear story. It's kind of like a sell model inside of a sell model, in my opinion. Like this is, Dixie's like, to me, like such a beauty in terms of a chart. Like it's really cool, like all the different stuff I see that's going on. But we ultimately, I was looking at this as your original consolidation. Like to me, there you have 3 equal lows there. That's like such a key sell side liquidity level that still needs to be taken. So what I would want to see is a push down a bit further in the short term. We did lose this daily volume imbalance, so it's kind of like we'll probably bounce a little bit tomorrow, mitigate some of this fair value gap, and depending on the news, either rally or dump. I think a dump would be more realistic, and then maybe a pump on everything else. But I think this sell side liquidity is probably going to get taken, because to me this almost looks like your original consolidation here, reaccumulation, smart money reversal, the Wombo combo at 43,000, then dive into hell. Yep, exactly. And this kind of coincides with that like high time frame theory, but Dixie, again, I would want to see, or what I'm looking at here is this is like your first distribution, second distribution. This would be your silver bullet. So this should ultimately just kind of nuke. And then from there, you have a lot of, yo, Entropy, what's up, my man? I was like, the Wombo combo, I'm like, he's using some terms that only some people I know know. But yeah, I was just mentioning you as well as Galactic, the other traders as well, just talking about ES. Cheers, bro. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, it's the secret sauce. But yeah, we do have some trendline liquidity above on Dixie, like relatively equal highs here. This still to me is like, what is, I think the key term that like, what's his face uses, ICT, LR, low resistance, resting liquid. I don't know what the term is, but ultimately because these highs are pretty much untaken, like there's no real kind of raid. They're kind of all weak, and there's a lot of stops. So ultimately, once this sell side liquidity objective gets taken, I'm pretty yeah, low resistance liquidity run. Thank you, appreciate it. I'm ultimately pretty bullish if we take the sell side liquidity and pivot, and then you get back above the monthly FEG. I think that's like a key level, because as you saw, we dipped under it and absolutely ripped back up. There is a monthly FEG up here that we pretty much top ticked. Solemn, what's good? On the monthly, or yeah, we never even made it, but I still think that with this high here, you have like relative equal highs, you have this massive imbalance, like you're gonna mitigate it before you go down and complete the whole market maker sell model on like, I would say it's more on the daily time frame, maybe like 3-day you could even get away with. My charts are a little messy on this, apologies, but you can see the general like structure idea. So this would be probably your second distribution. I'm trying to figure out who spelled it right, solemn or false. I think solemn did. Or maybe it's like a combination. But yeah, just to kind of finish up Dixie, this bat harmonic on the monthly, like I don't geek out about harmonics. Well, I mean I do, but like I really geek out when they're monthly ones because it's crazy. So I think ultimately in time though, once you come up and tap into this, you're gonna get a good run until probably like I would say 89. Like there's no way we don't come down, take those lows, maybe even this one. You have all this imbalance. Yo, Madasim, what's up? So yeah, equal lows here would be like high time frame bull cycle target. Like once we hit that, then maybe I'd probably start selling off. But yeah, this thing looks amazing. Ideally at this point, I'm just waiting for the confirmation high back up into that monthly FEG before really starting to pedal to the metal in terms of investing and like averaging into stuff. So yeah, that's like the key things. Let's head over to crypto. I gotta say this set's been pretty decent so far. Only 20 minutes in, but it's doing the works. Starting off alphabetical order as always. Again, if any requests, feel free to drop them in the chat, and if there's a ticker, I will take a look. Doesn't have to be crypto, could be other asset classes. But yeah, just looking at algo here, really nothing I'm like crazy about. The one thing I guess that you could look for as a target, and like I do like, oh wow, where's Chaps when Chaps would love this? Oh my gosh, and Tyler too. Name that entry model. Oh my gosh, this is like, it's got everything you want. I'll throw this on for fun, but not something, yeah, it wouldn't even be like a huge R. But ultimately with this type of like entry model, I'd probably put stop below there, this at the breaker, and you'd get like 2.8 R. It's a clean setup. I mean, again, I miss entry, but like this is how you'd want to size it up. I've heard about turtle soup setup. I don't remember enough about what it is, but this is like the unicorn model that like ICT talks about and Tyler like lives by, so thought it was interesting. But yeah, algo is still range bound. We're in kind of like the lower tier, in my opinion, giving it like the swing low. So ultimately 2450 is going to be kind of a magnet for the short term. Would want to see this come up, take that equal highs. And ultimately, if we're looking for continuation of trend here, I would want to see 2450 flip and turn into support. If not, probably just continue ranging. But yeah, this would have been an excellent play had I seen this a couple days ago. But yeah, good education. Hopefully got something out of that. Let's go to the next one, APT. Oh man, this thing is cooking. I think as long as, because like really the swing low, you could argue this is the swing low, but really I think this is, or more so this imbalance. Once you lose this imbalance, it's kind of over, because then your order flow changes, and I would be looking for lower targets at that point. But right now it looks like it's cooking. Like the only thing here, and I'm sure maybe the 1 hour will give a better view on what's brewing. This kind of just looks like a bunch of accumulation besides this impulse here. The only thing is I don't want I wanted the tunes that didn't have vocals. There we go. Sorry, I skipped it. Maybe something, take out the lows first, tap into the imbalance again, maybe tag 1020. Yeah, 1020 is like the key level, but ultimately I think this imbalance gives some leeway in terms of what you'd be looking for, but I think something's got to give soon because you have a lot of resting liquidity below. You have this trendline liquidity here. You have these equal highs, which again, once we go bull cycle again, like there's no way that these highs are just gonna get left like that for good. Like there's no way. So might not even be a bad one. I know Solemn, you were doing some spot stuff. This one might not be a bad one to long on your spot degen account. But I don't know what your criteria is for certain trades and stuff. So on to the next personal favorite, Atom. Kind of sideways here. Equal lows right below, so kind of not really expecting anything much besides maybe sideways and then eventually down. Again, my key game plan is DCA anywhere under $10 and hold at least until I would say 44. These equal highs, like the same story I was just saying on a APT. That would be like my minimum target. Maybe take some off here at around 33, but ultimately I think we're due for a pumperino. You got the double confirmation or double harmonics, so kind of interesting to keep in mind as you are looking for alts next cycle. This would be one of the few that I would be willing to place some money in, and I actually will. I'm sure I'll probably tweet about it too. Maybe after the fact. Maybe I'll save that just for the Chroma lads, but we'll see. So BCC we already looked at. BNB, yeah, just rain. Wait, where were we at last Wednesday? Yeah, just kind of holding the equal EQ of this range. We did tap into this daily imbalance down here, but I don't really think much is gonna happen. As long as Binance is still up and running, it should be fine. Doge. Oops, how do we get down there? Now, Doge is one that I'm kind of surprised on because, like, I know the whole Elon thing and I understand why it's up, but given the harmonic, or again, see, it wouldn't really be valid there anymore. Like, I don't want to see it take out this high at 11.25. Otherwise, it kind of skews this idea of like this being like a harmonic here. But it's already kind of curling up, which I'm not crazy about. I'm just hoping this is like a wick up, and then maybe tomorrow we'll see like a down candle or something. But yeah, above 88 or 8.87 cents. This thing looks pretty strong. But again, I'm really hoping this is just a raid. You are below the high here at 99 or 10 cents, like right under 10 cents. So hopefully this is just continued back under, and then we eventually go for these lower sell side liquidity areas, and then eventually come down for this imbalance. And this would be another one I'd actually, funny enough, be willing to throw some shekels at and see what happens. Roll the dice. ETH. Now, ETH is one we talked about quite a bit, I think this past weekend at Townhouse. Ultimately, what I really liked about it, I think it was the weekly we did the analysis on, was the fact we tapped into the weekly here, just barely, and since have now been rallying from this imbalance here, pretty much cleared the range, value area high, going to look for new value, and ultimately I think buy side liquidity is your next target at about, whoops, 20, 30. 2K, basically, if you're just looking for like psychological level where you'll probably see some resistance. But if we can flip that buy side liquidity, turn it into support, or ultimately, what I think would be insane, you get a very strong displacing move up into this imbalance, sell back off a bit, or maybe have like a doji candle up here, just kind of chill, then come back down, and then what do you form? Well, you have this supply that got blown through, you left a displacement, so you have your fair value gap, and then you uber long. That's my play for the summer if we get it. So there you go. That's the cheat sheet. Because ultimately, if you are actually going to get a weekly close above B, I think the odds of going to the 886 for the 3272, maybe you only go to the 786, but again, that's still like 3K. Like, there's no reason why we can't see those levels. I know people are like, oh, it's not going to go that high, but like, have you seen the ETH to BTC chart? So we'll actually head over to that next. But yeah, this thing looks primed. Definitely in a better position to be than BTC, but as you saw, BTC already played out its harmonic, so this is just giving itself some time. Let's quick go to ETH BTC. So yeah, following the meme arrows pretty well. Almost actually to like a T. I literally was like down, now it's dragging back up. We'll probably get another sell-off, and then ultimately get me this 786 at 56,000 satoshis, and I am uber long. Ultimately from here where we're at currently, I think you're gonna probably go up retest. It is pushing up quite a bit, so POC in my opinion would be the area where if you're like in an ETH to BTC long, I think some people in Chroma are. I think Benny is. That's where, in my opinion, you'd want to look to probably take some off. Maybe even if you can get this imbalance here on the daily, like quick wick above and then get out, and then I'd be looking. I think BTC will be stronger, and then eventually the tides will change, probably sometime over the summer. And then ETH will get that crazy rally that I was talking about that'll lead us to Valhalla. So that's kind of high time frame thoughts on ETH. Going to some more S coins. LDO is one that really like doesn't do anything for me. Like, it's just kind of here, it exists. Maybe you have a does 1 hour like paint a better picture of this? Not really. I mean, I guess you could say this is like original consolidation. It's kind of like a market maker buy model. Ultimately, though, I think short-term target 2.6287. This buy side liquidity level right here, and then ultimately 2.74. It does look strong. It is going up. However, we are leaving an imbalance below, so ultimately I would want to see this imbalance hold. Otherwise we may go down and test the bigger one below. So 2 points of interest for potential longs. Wait for your low time frame confirmation, and then you can send it. Link. I don't even know why I bother. Oh my god, this thing is so boring. I really hope one day it just absolutely face melts from like here. Like we get some sort of crazy pump. Because man, this months of sideways. Like, I think ETH to BTC is more interesting than this chart. But if you're a range trader, this is like your bread and butter. I was gonna say tea and kettle, and I was like, no, that's wrong. Things that go together. Mana actually doesn't look too bad, besides the fact that you're just in the middle of nowhere, but I think if you can hold this imbalance here. So that area, and then let's see, what's the 200? Yeah, flip the 200 EMA, and I would be looking for $1 because you have like liquidity here, you have imbalances here. Like there's reasoning behind like why it would go up, and then ultimately like probably invalidation for me would be like if you want to play it. If you, I don't know. I guess I'd want to see it first, how it shapes up. I'm not gonna like size anything up on that, but 200 EMA like coming right up into it is a good sign for a potential trend change. Matic, this is one I looked at a while ago for someone. We do have relatively equal highs still. Hasn't really done much with that. It's funny though, I think there was kind of a little baby harmonic here. Well, you can't really count it because you have the highs are the same, but levels I was watching for ultimately were like these sell side liquidity, because I do want to see this come back down again. But you could punt, and I mean punt a long, maybe you don't get the 886, but there's so much like resting liquidity right here that somewhere, like if I were to zone it out, I would say anywhere between here and here, that like those lows would all be like my area of interest. And you can see like it lines up right where like the PCZ would be able to, in like a different color, because again that's such like clean trend line liquidity. I'm sure there's plenty of stops below it. It's right at the PCZ. So this, like for me, this is another one I could easily size up a swing long on and forget about for like buy some spot and chill. Yo Danny, thank you for the sub. And then yeah, if we don't take the equal high first, that would be a good target. Again, you're risking like 11% for 48, so like, but then ultimately like you go for this, that's like almost 100% if you get the full target, which like technically I don't see any reason why like 1, 2, like a 3 rising valleys, like this might be another good one to like hold for like crazy high. I don't know. Well, I'm more, I like Atom a little bit more, but this one's starting to like pique my interest a little bit because of the size of it. So, but yeah, no, before we get ahead of ourselves, again, probably look for buy side liquidity, or even just the equal highs at $1, or actually no, we're above $1. Yeah, 135 would probably be, because there's the imbalance there. There's also one up here too. Interesting. But yeah, this looks like a clean setup. I do like this like demand block area on high time frame. It's a little bit easier to read if we look at it on yeah. So it's nice. But the one thing that I am a little nervous about is it might just curl up and rip, but we'll see. We shall see. We got a few more, and then we'll head over to FX. Near, another one very similar to Sol, which we actually will be looking at next. It's not really doing much though. Just kind of retesting this level here. Here, let me skip this bit. It's a little loud for my taste. That's fair. But yeah, that key level 1661. Ultimately, your above should be good for upside, or at least ranging between that and 286. 286 is kind of like the key high, in my opinion, that you want to look for it to get taken. And I'm sure the middle, like you can hypothesize where, I don't know if there's like a actual valid center of that, but I was trying to see like locally what levels is it getting respected. Probably like somewhere around there. So yeah, below this probably good for longs if you're looking for higher. Above this until you break 286, looking good for shorts. And then obviously fall black below, that's no bueno. Wow, Why does it keep going to the top when I hit spacebar? I don't know, my computer's being weird today. Soul we had looked at. It wasn't anything I bought. It was funny. Literally, last one say, if you got in this position, you'd be at break even after a week of price action. So not the greatest. I do eventually see this going up as long as everything else behaves. I do want to see that 200 EMA flip though. So, but I think short term, even just playing this as a 3-tap up to here for like you could probably tighten up your stop loss at this point for like 3R or something like that. I think that's a valid play for the short to midterm. So, but this was more so just I was like how you would size it up for a swing in my opinion, given the current price action on it. But yeah, this is a successful butterfly versus Doge, which still has yet to play out. So, just showing you examples. Sushi. Oh wow. I didn't take this, but I did size it up on stream last week. And wow, look at that. It's starting to do things on this kind of scuffed harmonic. It's like a bat Gartley. It had a deep retrace like a bat would, but it had the Gartley, the 618 on the B. But yeah, this looks good. Would have been if you took this one from last week, it would have you'd be up a little bit. Looking for a 2.5R ultimately, like just the buy side liquidity here, but yeah, it looks nice. Very range bound. So again, I'm just expecting a rotation back to like probably the EQ or the point of control. So if we just check that out, yeah, you could even like play it for just the 2R if you want to be a bit more conservative and just play to the POC. But I think buy side liquidity will eventually get taken, and you could probably even look for range EQ for like 3R, but we'll see. I'll actually leave that on for next week. So yeah, sushi, not too shabby. Euro, now get into some fun stuff. We do have a monthly imbalance right above. You have buy side liquidity. If you look at the structure and way this thing has been performing, this thing has just been absolutely pushing up, and it looks to be continuing to do so. So again, if Dixie gets a good push down, I think this could be great for a long. I may even look to take a swing on this, because I changed my FTMO account recently to a swing account, solely so I could like play swing plays. I'm trying to think, like, how would I even, like, if I were to hop in now and I just went for this, but I know there's news tomorrow, so it's like, how do I guess yeah, for me that's not like, I don't like doing less than 2R. So maybe I'll wait for news tomorrow, because I am allowed to trade news. Oh wait, no, I have to proctor an exam, so I will be unable to trade during the time of the news release, unfortunately. But yeah, that could be a very eventful position. Ultimately, I do think it's going up, but whether we pull back first or not is up for debate. But you could play this as a... actually, I wouldn't want to play it as a unit at this point, because we already started deviating away. But yeah, that monthly FEG, I think high time frame wise, is a good target to look for. Or at least the buy side liquidity in the short term. GU followed basically the plan to a T. We had a beautiful, it was like a mixture of like a 3 drives, because it was like 1, 2, 3 successful lower lows, but also it was a 3-tap, because you had these two just had wicks. This one actually deviated into the monthly FEG, took out the EQ of it, which is beautiful. And then from there, if you look closely, you have your supply that was broken. You have your volume, or not volume, your fair value gap. You have your V reversal, just up and down, and then boom, equal highs at value at range high. Basically, like this is like a beautiful combo in my opinion. It's like a 3 tap mixed with The unicorn, I feel like that is something to pay attention to, especially if you get it on high time frame ever again. But ultimately, what I would like to see here is kind of the range highs hold, and then look for a push up to this monthly imbalance if we don't just push up tomorrow on its own. Yeah, it's only, what is it, like 1% away. It could definitely do it in a day or two. Yeah, a day or two maybe, but yeah, that to me is still like the key target for GU. And going to our favorite euro to pound, slowly making our way down that C to D leg. Pound is in control, and we'll take EU by the reins. So definitely EU shorts are more favored, pound longs are favored, but that's more on like medium to high time frames. Scalp wise, it's more so you gotta obviously play what the PA is showing you in the moment. But yeah, this is definitely a ways to go. This should be like a magnet for it. Yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to get through. If anyone in the chat has any questions, comments, concerns, and or requests, I'm happy to take a look. Otherwise, I will wrap things up a little bit earlier tonight, only because I haven't eaten yet, and I had some stuff come up that I need to take care of for my family. So plus it seems like we've obviously went through the key stuff, and if no one has any requests, I don't feel as bad about cutting it short, just because I'm not the best at talking to myself and endlessly going on and on. So I think we'll leave it at that. We'll quick go back to BTC. It is starting to lose the high of the previous candle. Maybe we get a push back up in the next 30 minutes, but seeing some weakness here. Stay safe. Be careful with news later this week. You can always check it at forexfactory.com if you're ever curious what time the releases are. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your week. I'll talk to Chroma members or other team members to see if we will be streaming the VC this week, or if we're going to be just doing it for Chroma team, because I know it's slightly different timing versus our regular weekend one. But yeah, we'll let you know on Twitter if we are. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of your week. I'll see you next week.